That'll never get old. I absolutely love it. Woo! He's just enjoying and loving life. As you should if you're trying to win games at PUBG, especially when you're playing not just for a lot of money, but a lot of pride and respect and to represent your region, right? That's what it's all about. Well,
For sure.
That's one thing. We haven't really touched on it too much, though, but what I love about having all our now regions split up with a lot of different sets of Pro League and contenders is you really are banding together to say who is just the best overall, right?
Oh, yeah,
you can
of
be
course.
best in your region, then go on to the world stage and stuff like that. But I just feel like now compared to our previous, obviously we've had the big events, right? There just feels like there's so much more on the line now because it is the full season. We've got the complete package of epic PUBG action.
Teams have gotten better, the meta has gotten better, and overall, I mean, having had, you can see it after every single global event there is.
Yeah.
Teams just come home different. The teams that have been there, they come home playing crazy different, and the teams that haven't made it there but sat and watch, they'll try and say, okay, these guys, they know what's up, because sure, you can win your own league, but it's all about making it to those big global events and showing that it's not, for them, it's not, oh, we're the best, Europe is the best, or America is the best, or China is the best, doesn't even matter. It's not, they don't care about the region in that regard. It's just them. They want to show that they are the best to show for their region, right? And it's so damn hard because you can play a meta in Europe that works so well, but then throw in a couple of Korean teams, and all of a sudden it does not work whatsoever. And that's what makes it so much fun.
It can drastically change, right?
For sure.
We've seen it before where you go, oh, yes, we're so used to, they not get stuck in their ways, but it's like, oh, we're used to how this play style comes. And you can watch all the demos you want of, say, teams from other regions, but actually going up against it is such a different beast from just looking at it.
And for those of you guys sitting out there watching, thinking, but guys, why are we talking about all this stuff when this is contenders? Well, that's because some of these guys, maybe a year from now, maybe even less than that, well, they might be those teams that are indeed fighting up against the big global rivals. Because that's in the end what all these guys are fighting for. A spot in PEL and a chance at potentially making it to some of those global events. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. But you never know. There are teams that on their best days here have shown me that they indeed are capable of pulling off big numbers, even against some of the best in the West.
Best in the West. Better than the rest. That's going to be the case, or what they're going to try and prove when it comes down to it. But who's going to be the best of match 2? Who's going to make it work? Obviously, Riddle. They came and got things done with 17 points on this previous game. And is Moonwolf? Okay, Moonwolf's not going to go and join the Avangar again. See, do it once and then they say no problem at all. And very well pointed out there, Mr. Tobias, because Se7en again have Milta Power and Avangar. They've opted to change it around. They've gone up towards North George, but so have Northern Lights, who don't want to go for military. Now, Northern Lights, let me just say this with you. We don't know yet. It's going to happen in 10 seconds. But normally when you leave, we end up getting a military circle.
That's true.
So is this going to happen again? 5 seconds, we will find out.
What if they send one guy military and the rest of them somewhere else? Where does the circle go then? Oh, well, not military, I guess.
Not military,
well,
but
military was in it, so for that matter, the statistic still holds, right?
A portion of it, yeah. They'll take it, I'm sure.
But interesting that Northern Lights up to go this far north. I think what they probably would have wanted to do was early on send players down towards Novo and fly over. But knowing that Novo has been taken previously, Milta Power isn't always up for grabs, and then seeing a team jump out immediately, potentially even 2 or 3 teams, because both Moonwolf and Se7en were out early, that's going to make things extremely difficult when it comes to that decision-making early on. Because once you're out of the plane, you're committed, right? You have to go for it. There's nothing else you can do. And especially if you're jumping out mid-air, like over water, going down towards Novo. If you have two teams are with you, what are you going to do? Jump in the water instead? I mean, that's not really going to be an option.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to choose that as the point to be swimming away.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to be optimal. All we know, they're going to be happy. They can spread their wings once again, claim the entire city of Yesenia to themselves. And, well, I mean, they'll be pretty chill with it. Now, these Western circles, we had a couple of them on Monday. Fortunately,
a couple we did in back-to-back as well.
Yeah, exactly. But they were more brutal than this one. So I guess seeing this circle is not going to be the worst of scenarios for most teams. But Zoekt Een Naam, I'm looking at them right now and saying, what do they do here? Do they go up north again, like we saw in that second game?
Yeah.
Sit and hold some rotations just north of the city of Pochinki? Or do they swerve all the way down south and try and take some compound position? Because they came into compounds late on in those games, and that's why they got themselves that 4th place in the fields that Gamerlegion ended up winning. But I think they could have played that maybe, not necessarily more aggressively, but more center-based, and try and go for those compounds that they did end up in late game anyway, but maybe taking some control early because they are the Pochinki team and they have a chance to rotate. Of course,
And they can watch all the other teams rotate around them as well.
Mm-hmm. That's what you have to make up in your mind, or I guess mainly as an in-game leader, or even as a team as a whole. Do you want to let those teams pass you? Are you, because you're not in need, but do you work the best with having those compounds available and just being able to sit tight, or do you like being one of those teams that are more on the move and more lightweight in the aspect of constantly having a chance to rotate around whenever they want? Because sometimes when you get in that compound, sure, you can see another compound that looks even better, but once you're locked down in there, things can indeed become rather tricky.
And things did become tricky for Moonwolf on the previous game. They didn't have to battle in Yasnaya, but obviously didn't go their way overall when they rotated from, so they've opted to stick away from this. They've gone Lipovka. They want to make sure that they can get everything they need here without too much of a contesting fight early on. But it will be a longer rotation for these guys now.
Yeah, they have been out here before, and they've been here, they've been Multipower, they've been Novo. Something tells me that Moonwolf just like East Coast. I mean, they used to be, Moonwolf back in the day used to be the Milta team. Like, there was them, and then you had Vitality. They were pretty much the known European Milta teams. So, so seeing things change up, but not change up that much, you know? Same, different, but still the same. Still East Coast. And speaking of teams that could do things differently, that would be Zoekt Een Naam. We told them to rotate. Maybe they shouldn't have, because now Page went down, but Macken and Fex went down, so I'm not sure if that was because a vehicle flipped or if it was because somebody popped some tires and forced it to happen. But Bjorn, he's left on his own. He has to come up and help these two crawling men into safety. And look at this, Desperados. I was going to say, I hope they didn't see them. Calvin didn't see them.
Do you really know? What?
Crawl, guys, crawl. Keep crawl. Wait.
That's insane.
Keep crawling, Fex. Keep crawling.
If they're looking, they're thinking, could we get any luckier?
This is no way. There's no way.
Who's close enough to save them?
They're not even looking. Wait, no, now Salsera is turning around, isn't he? Maybe he's not? I thought they were trying to oh, no. Bjorn gets spotted out, Macken is found. Okay, so there's two options here. Either it was them popping the wheels to begin with, and they were waiting for someone to come for the rest, and then just penalize them for it, like try and set up a trap, or it was actually just them not randomly, but turning around, hearing Bjorn's vehicle go, oh, there's a player there. Oh, wait, there's knock players there as well. Nonetheless, it looked pretty funny. We need a home. We see them trying to hold off some rotations here as well. Nope, Vex knocked himself. That's gonna be it's gonna be him down. Salsera didn't manage to get anything off it. Maybe some loot, but no points for kills.
That's just crazy how that went down.
That is very rare you see that happen. Very, very rare.
Now Gamerlegion are going to be in a pretty tough spot to fight from, though.
Hamster is by himself. They were on the rotation already. Bjorn was the last one to leave the double bounce down south. They were already shooting towards Zoekt Een Naam, and now Hamster is left all on his lonesome.
Now Riddle are previous winners.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to rotate just towards the east of Pachinki. They're going to go up north and have a little bit of a scout around, but they're well within it. As T-Bone spots out Hamster, and that's instantly Gamerlegion going down. 16th place for these guys.
That was not the type of start they would have wanted to the game whatsoever. Then it's all the boom. They're going to go down as well. Winside caught in their rotation over the bridge. They are not used to having a team sit around that side of northern Georgia. And they were caught off guard. So NATO Energy now as well, starting to run over each other. Unfortunately, nobody has an eye on them.
Very, very fortunate as well, considering how many teams are close by to them. Easy one, Voke broke. Gifted Brew goes down.
Where's Quizzy?
That's the one you're looking for, Quizzy.
No, he was disconnected. I could see it in his name, but I was just wondering if he's miles out in the blue now, or if he's actually, if he's on his way back into the game. Hopefully he is. Of course, we talk about Quizzy every time we talk about Northern Lights being not necessarily their success player, because they've all, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even though we can see one guy be the one to be up in the top of the kill feed or be the one that does the most damage, I'm not going to say always, but oftentimes that damage is only possible to be applied because the team moved somewhere together to set him up, or someone else made a call that allowed for him to look where the player was and all those things. So indeed, it is very much a team effort, even though it might look on the statistics as if it's just one guy doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, that's why, like, when you think about it overall, you can have players that stand out and they have these great moments, but it's all the team that helps back it up, right? It is a team game. That's what it all comes down to.
And it's different skills that you're relying on, because sure, it's always good to have that guy that can do crazy fragging, but if he doesn't know how to spot a player, then what does it matter, right? On the other hand, it's all good that you can have a guy that makes all the planning, but if he doesn't know how to drive a car, then, that's not going to work either. And speaking of circles that are yikes, this one's rather yikes. Southern Hardshift, plenty of water in it. And these guys have, well, for the most part, got pretty darn far to go, unless if you are Desperados. They're sitting well in it, trying to make their rotation on forward. And they have got plenty of room to work with. You like this circle, James?
I do like this circle. This will work for me. I'm not going to complain about this one. The teams will, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will. Besiktas and Quickmath, they've found one another. Besiktas, they're not used to having teams jump out of the vehicle when they shoot. That's kind of their thing to do. But Peltish, he's had it. He's not going to be standing for that anymore. He's going to turn around and start shooting, but he might want to reconsider. At least he's going to get to run over Ultra and get back to safety. What is that we said yesterday? Ultra is everything, right? They just lost everything.
Now they're going to try and regain some control, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, because they're trying to gain control of an area that's not inside the circle.
Exactly.
And this is most likely what will happen to most players, because, when you get to rotate in the midst of the chaos, you can swing on through and try and dodge and weave, but once all these players have set up their turrets looking into those fields, trying to force a vehicle through those areas is only going to be harder.
To your spawn. Other teams out in the distance.
Good spot too, because that's a pretty common spot to rotate to from there, because it's hard to see that angle. So you just go up there blindly, hoping there's no one up on that hillside. But because he saw them, at least my guess is that they'll take a big turn around. Turn around. Yeah, there's a song for everything.
Is that a song?
I don't think that's what they're actually saying.
Oh, okay.
Da-na-na, every time I need to feel a little bit closer. I don't know. Isn't it something like that? Turn around, turn. I don't know. Doesn't matter. That's all I'm going to sing today. You guys are going to have it real nice with me not singing. Oh, wait, what was Rip doing there? What? Oh, he's okay, never mind. Rip just teleported into Desperado's compound. It's like, wait, what? But it was fake news, guys. Don't worry about it. Northern Lights, far rotation. They're used to rotating around on the edge. And, this is not a whole lot new to them, because now they're getting down into familiar territory. The closer to military base they go, well, the closer to home they are.
Now for Besiktas. Letting your car run away is one thing. Catching it and making sure that, then it's
there's a
double
substitute
hill.
on the road, right? It's like, this one had flames anyway. We'll just sub it out.
You all know that you go faster with the flames on.
That is true. They do give automatic movement speed boost. And Zelenzo, he's flying his now Aqua bike along the shoreline, trying to get into safety. And, at least for now, it's working. But the main issue here is that these are 2 of 4 Quickmath players, and you don't want to lose them because a vehicle flips in the water, especially not in this area of the map, Mars out in the blue. Sims is rolling in his car, trying to shoot at the same time. Being creative with it, like to see it.
Now 4 AK, they're playing off the edge at the moment. 2 players still within the blue working their way in. They've got the vehicles though, so it's not a problem to find their way in.
Yeah.
But the problem is this side is going to be very contested. Oh my god! No way!
What is this circle? Wait, we keep talking about center point having to be on land, right? Is the center point on the pier?
Yeah. It actually is. My god. I'm trying to line this up.
What?
It's like the bridge on the far right of the pier. As Perfectix is going to find himself an easy kill onto 2OUO just there. He's going to be looking for more of these Quickmath players trying to rotate in, as I've still not caught guy. Oh my god, Perfectix, yes!
Wow.
Those are some shots!
What do you do against it? I mean, you can dodge
Die.
and weave as much as you want with your vehicle, but yes, you just take it to the chin and say, you know what, he got me there.
That was a spray down and a half.
Yep,
Fair
there's
play.
nothing you can do against it too. That's just raw mechanical skill, a little addition of luck maybe, but overall great concentration on the recoil there. Se7en gonna get eliminated, and believe me, this is gonna be a cluster, and then some. A lot of teams will get eliminated very shortly. This circle has got to be one of the strangest hardships I've seen in a very long time. Nobody's prepared for this, James. Nobody. A little water, sure. A bit of water, a little more water, sure. This much water is more water than land right now.
Yep.
That is absurd.
In before. I know it has to go towards land next time, but it goes to the military base.
Or it centers on the island in the water. The thing is, the next one has to exclude water, but that's not going to be possible. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of water inside the next circle, right? Yeah. Now we've seen I was going to say now we've seen everything. We could probably get the. We could
there's probably worse ones somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah, somewhere. There's a worse circle just waiting to prove us wrong. And it will someday, James. If we keep casting, it's going to happen.
Mate, thing is this, right? We're looking at these games, which are just playing the contenders and PL and stuff like that. Imagine just all the crazy public games as well.
Yeah. They don't even have the same rule set that we do here.
Exactly.
So, that's where you get the really awkward ones. Simsi, Tamil, they're trying to make a rotation that might seem somewhat impossible. Yannick is going to go down. Lux is going to get panned as well. We're seeing more and more BM with those pans every now and again. We know there's a little bit of rivalry going on between We Need a Home and Besiktas off of statements being said during the kickoff cup, but glad to see they're taking it with a pen and trying to stay positive and active. Wanting to land shots on towards Nemerith, but that's not going to happen. Naleb and him do go down, and they go down and take out the players. And Avangar, that's going to be a lot of them going out.
Yeah, Avangar, this rotation in from the north isn't going to work out. Toby's just seen something brilliant here. Winside's moon has gone all the way through the blue, gone across the bridge, and has gone. He's actually on the little part of military base.
You never know what's going to happen. He's going to regret it this very second, though.
Errors.
All these players that we're seeing on our screens right now, they are in for a rough run. They're out in the blue. There's going to be no safety coming in towards them. Nemerith, you're dead. Onoctive, you're dead. Tuck, well, if you have enough first stage, you might have a chance, but that's going to be a hard, if not near impossible run to make it through. Nemerith, PG, they do go down. Moon, well, buddy, you're on the wrong side, but honestly, jump into the water now, and you can crawl on forward, because next circle doesn't have to exclude water. So there's a chance at hard shift south. Misa as well has opted to go in a boat here. We're seeing all kinds of crazy in this game, guys. All kinds of crazy.
Now, in Moon's position.
Swim?
Just swim is the best, yeah.
Yeah.
He just drove off with his bike. That's gone downhill.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the next circle doesn't have to go on land anymore. It's only that fourth circle, right? So we can go all the way down south again and he can stay out in the water. And the thing is, with those water changes and everything happening, nobody's going to anticipate there actually being a player out there. This is it's a tough day to be a PUBG player. I don't know what you did, James, when you said we want nice circles for everyone today.
They got one on game one.
Mm-hmm.
I was good then.
I cannot even begin to think what's going to happen next game. I mean, normally crazy is followed by crazier when we cast together, James. And this is, I mean, if there's crazier than this, then I don't know if I'd ever want to see it.
Yeah, that might even be more than for me that I want to handle as well.
We'll convert James just into just wanting to good circles for the players. Simsi spots out one. That's going to be tucked down and out. Little help from Tamil coming in from the side, but Avangar do get eliminated in 12th place. Zoekt Een Naam as well. Out they go in 12th. Not a good situation for them whatsoever. Not a whole lot they could do.
So two heavy-hitting teams out of it already.
Yeah,
I know that's based off these horrible rotations we're having to make.
When we make we call the rotations horrible, but the thing is that there was no alternatives. It was just make a horrible rotation or die in the blue. Some teams didn't want to make that horrible rotation. Well, they died in the blue. And the guys that did rotate, they now have to just live with what they get. And for Simsi and Tamil's sake, that's a couple of trees, a smoke, and a vehicle parked up against it, trying to grant them all the cover that they should have available. Fortunately now, a lot of the water is being excluded, but there's a fairly big chance that we're going back down towards the Ferry Pier area. And right now, Moonwolf and 4AK have full control of it. Sequel Demenza, he's taking the vehicle, driven on forward, trying to get some sort of control. Calvin is going to come and assist him.
Washout. Just spotted out some of the no-tech team players, keeping his wits about him. They saw him, scoped away the land and said, okay, if I went to go engage in this, what else could possibly happen around me? Oh, Compot spots out. He just sees it. Lands the first couple of shots. Can't do anything else, though. Will alert his position towards Desperado now.
Tornado has 5 kills as well, and that's going to be their main threat. They're the only 2 teams on this side of the road, if you don't count Simsy, a solo player on the rock down there. And, well, I mean, that's going to be their first focus, I would assume, at least in regards to what team to take their aggression to. Or at least take the fight with. Because you see Millman, I mean, 30 bullets to spare. Not a whole lot of ammo available.
And that's the thing, right? When you get so active, shooting away long distance as well, as you can see he's got the 6 times. It makes it harder sometimes to actually go and grab the loot off the players, as we're still keeping about 40% water in on this circle.
And what was a city in big forest has now become an open beach.
Beach party, but not the party people would normally want.
Beach party with guns.
Yeah. Sounds like a horrible time, doesn't it?
The beach party deathmatch. Imagine if D-Day was everyone against everyone, like free-for-all. That's pretty much what we're going to see here, except for no landing vehicles. We'll leave that for the public games. With the new amphibious vehicle, Millman, that's a double tap. Love to see him.
Doesn't have many bullets left, but the ones he does, he makes them count. I'd like to see his team try and get involved in this a bit more, though, because if they can take the full northern side of this circle comfortably. They can deal away with Desperado.
And they will need to make the push eventually. I think what's happening right now is them not wanting to over-aggress. They know that Desperado has to make the move, and they're waiting for them to make the move on forward towards him. I like that they're playing passive. But again, them being passive allows for stuff like this to happen. Calvin, we've seen him do these flanks before, and they've worked out well. Now he does get the audio cue on towards Millman, but there's actually a player further behind him. Millman does get knocked. Aliyah gets spotted out immediately, and Calvin is doing a hell of a lot of damage.
So much damage being had here. Calvin Klein, 1 HP in a dream, and he still manages to get the knocks. Aliyah, she pushes into it, and he actually finds himself being caught between the tree. And that's going to be terrible for them.
Wow, with the last 1 bullet in his gun, he gets the knock. That's a commitment and a half to a weapon where you'd probably just want to have swapped over to the other one.
I need to stop calling Aliyah she as well. It's like
I've been baited by that one too.
It reminds me of the R&B singer. I keep going back. I'm like, nope, wait, it is a he. My bad, dude.
Is
my
it
bad.
though, James?
Don't try to trick me.
We can never assume anyone's gender. It's 2019, you know.
Oh yeah, just make all the batshit crazy people go off on one.
Nonetheless, Calvin does manage to get the finish up onto it, and honestly, in what seemed to be a not full control, but somewhat full control situation for Tornado Energy, has now been them down to just 2 players forced to make the aggressive push forward. And Fake Town Zero and Cold Dementor, they found a line here, but they're just a meter short of the circle. They need to move that vehicle a bit further forward, but that's also going to leave them exposed in the front line. I wonder how long No Tag will stay alive with their 2 shacks here. No one can push them. I don't think anyone wants to push them either. See, Cold Dementor and Desperados, they're already burning through their smokes, and they're far from done in this game just yet. 8 kills so far for them, but of course, fortunately, still 4 players alive and a chance to do some damage. New circle. What? Circles, stop. Going towards this bridge. You guys don't want to see James's face right now.
Means love and life.
This is as absurd as anything I've seen in a very long time. We're getting we're not just fairy peer, but like actual fairy peer ending.
Yeah. Moon is pretty much dead center with Quizzy and Perfectus on the other side of him. Miss A is trying to come down in the south, which is held onto by the deep.
There would be no reason for anyone to look out here at this point.
No.
I mean, why in the universe would there be a player out on that pier right now? I mean, of course, it is pretty much 50% of the circle, but how would anyone have gotten out there without you noticing? That's what you got to be thinking if you're 4AK, only keeping their focus inward, trying to maintain that northern front and making sure no one's able to make the push towards some Nix. These does go down, though, the deep from a distance, trying to do some damage over towards We Need a Home. And Fake gets taken down because of it. 5 kills now for the deep as Northern Lights try to get themselves some more kills.
Run and gun coming out there from Give It. He certainly is giving it off towards them. Can he do anything else, though? Looks to find himself some cover. Shots come out towards him. He's got his teammates close by, though, if he wants to deal with this.
I like that he stays outside instead of running inside the shack, but now he does go down because of it, though. It was a good idea. It did not work out the way he wanted it to. Jupsik, he's out in the open. Calvin does get taken down, and that's going to be Desperados. Despite being 4 guys alive just a little while ago, that road became too much for them to cross, and they're going to go down in 9th place. Off of everything we've been through here, James, we've just made it into placement points.
And this is where we cry and cry when it comes to these type of circles. Because no one has... You can't prepare for this. This is impossible to prepare for.
There's no way. And honestly, if you're Desperados, you've got to be thinking, okay, guys, at least we got, what, 6th place this game? And then they go 9th? Are you kidding me? At least they got some kills with it, so that's going to be them rather satisfied with it nonetheless. O'Connell, from a distance, has a run to make, and then another run, and then another run, and then quite a longer run. Not because he needs to get inside the circle, he's actually rather close to it. He just does not have a whole lot of cover on his side of it. Ronnie and Northwest trying to get around the corner. Nixties did go down before, but they've still got 3 guys up trying to hold the beach here. Where does this next circle go, James? To the actual pier? Can it? I don't even know if it can happen. If it can land like on the pier out by the water, if those rocks count as land. Maybe we're both learning some things today. O'Connell and Jupsik, they're going to go down and out. 13 players left alive. So a bit more beach now in play. Thank God. Everyone is running and things are getting really, really interesting. You can see they're trying to hold the angles here. Resu spots one from above come, but he's going to get that nade straight on towards him. That's going to be him gone down. Unfortunate for him, not a whole lot more he can do. Tornado Energy out in 6th place. And Havaki, I don't think there's going to be a rest coming in because Moonwolf holding the angle and they're holding it strong too. Washout did get flushed, so he's going to go down and out, but still 3 guys strong. And Moonwolf going to go up against the 3 players left remaining in Northern Lights in just a moment. But Ronnie up on the cliffs is still alive there and holding the angle. Shots fired from a distance. Ronnie's just laying it low. He's not going to shoot before he's forced to.
And he is usually such an aggressive player as well. He's waiting on the edge of it. The deep crawling up as well. Northern Lights looking to try and flush anyone else they can out of this, but the deep has to be so careful. Moonwolf moving forwards. They might walk over Ronnie at this point. He's going to have to make a educated decision on when to spray, and he does straight onto Occo. Can't get the finish off, though, so that's not going to work out. He only gets the knock-in, and that's an extra kill for Moonwolf as 4AK will be eliminated in 5th. But Northern Lights would have heard all of this go down and said, oh, okay, this isn't the end of the world now.
There are so many sneaky snakes right now. Even though Northern Lights are the 3-man team, they're just sitting and waiting and holding the angle. They know that Moonwolf need to make the win. You can see the way that Northern Lights have decided to split it here. They got Quizzy a little further back trying to hold it from a distance, and then they have Perfectix and Deep up close, ready to react to whatever info comes in from Quizzy.
All this waiting around. Perfectix doing the right thing, but he's not going to check the left of me. He's checking where he thought they were going to be potentially coming out of from these buildings. The deep working his way up now as well.
Keep in mind that Kumisa and Moon are still alive out on the pier, crawling their way forward. Deep now crawling close. Has Arco real nearby.
The damage comes out. Occo finds it first of all, straight away onto the deep, and that will be an instant flush. Perfectix now in the back lines, does need to be careful, but what the hell, Resu?
Yep, that's a headshot.
On his teammate. Why?
I guess it's one of those things where you don't step in front of a laser, you know? Because that sometimes gets you...
oh no, fool, that was timing.
I don't think he actually spun around and trying to take out his teammate. I think Edgicons just popped a bit in the wrong direction there. Molotovs thrown forward, everything thrown forward. And Misa and Moon, they've decided to stay passive on the southern side, trying to stay put down there. And Quizzy and Perfectix, they have the circle. They have it for quite a while yet. Misa and Moon spots each other, and Quizzy turns around like, wait, what? There's players out here still?
That's hilarious, though.
They both just 180'd immediately. Where the hell did those shots come from? And now Resu from the backside spots Quizzy in the open. That's going to make things so much harder. The fact that they now have to deal with a player behind him, too.
Moonwolf up at 9 kills at the moment, looking for plenty more ahead of him. 2 players on Northern Lights in front of him and Mise in the back lines. Oko working his way around the side. You can just catch a glimpse of him there. This could be huge depending on how he plays it.
Moonwolf played the compound for the longest of time. 10 smokes available for Resu, but now they're forced out into the open. Perfectix does go down. Quizzy is there trying to hold the angle real safe. He's just waiting for him to peek on over. Is it disconnected? Yeah, seems like it. And that's going to leave Mises somehow from going out in the boat into the water early on. Quickmath are going to find themselves in a second place guaranteed. 1v2, though.
I believe in the Mise.
That's the worst time DC ever, by the way, Quizzy.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate.
1v2 Mise. I don't even know if they have more than that 1 kill that he got earlier. That's the angle. He got 3 kills, actually. Not too bad, but he is going to go down, spotted through the building. Akko got the angle, and we told Riddle last game, saying how it was a good win for them, separating himself from Moonwolf. And Moonwolf, they turn things right around, and they come back hunting. Great, great game for them. And honestly, what to me has got to be one of the strangest hard shifts on hard shifts on hard shifts I've seen in a very long time.
Awkward circle. Very difficult for these teams to deal with and understand. And I got to say, I respect, first of all, Moon for trying to go across and beat the system. I respect that because it actually helped him achieve, what, 4th place for his team in the end? Because he was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, they both did, yeah.
You're living the dream at that point.
Both him and Misa, they were doing exactly that. I mean, they were the 2 players out there. He got, what, 4th? And then you have Misa getting a 2nd place. I don't think that was the way they wanted to have gotten those those placements. I think they were opting for something else. But, well, I mean, it worked out in their favor. And honestly, there's no saying, and as much as you could want to try and break down what happened this game, it's one of those where, I mean, I'm probably going to jinx it by saying it, but it's unlikely that something like this will happen anytime soon again, and it's something we've never really seen. Oh, that's a rotation. This just goes to show. This is what people had to deal with, trying to make those rotations on through. Really, really not easy whatsoever.
And sometimes that is just the way it goes down, right? You've got to be able to deal with what's put in front of you, even if you don't like anything to do with it. And this was really huge, right? That last bullet manages to tag Elia up, and Desperado, again with Desperado, right? They play so well as a team. They've got a lot of good individual players in it, but they just struggle to hold on to the big fights when it comes down to when it really matters. Yeah,
it's, I mean, for them, they got, what, 9 kills or 8 kills before they even had to make the rotation across the road, but that push became too much for them, and Misa here finally revealing the position, gets the finish up onto another player there as well. But in the end, the 2nd place is what they're going to get. And Moonwolf, we saw them in the group stages. They came back strong in the end. We talk about some teams that just play better under pressure. Maybe we've hit the pressure point now that Moonwolf get themselves a 22-point game.
Pressure point, and that's what it's about to deal with, right? When you get into these latter stages, it is pressure on pressure on pressure. Every single game becomes this tougher fight for them.
Also, if my math is correct in this one, Tornado Energy just surpassed Gamerlegion to take 1st place.
Yeah, because Gamerlegion went out early.
Exactly.
Went 16th, so yeah, there's a good opportunity for that.
So considering, or just depending on if they got any kills or how many kills they did get, but we'll have to wait and see until we get the overall scoreboards. Akko, Risu up there. We talked Akko all group stage long in the end of things, and now he's back on up there.
Akko has been a player that continues to impress. He's one of the ones you pointed out at the very beginning, right, before we even got to the final stages of those players that are the up-and-coming skilled talents here.
Yeah. Very talented player for sure, and he has, fortunately, a chance to show it with a very high-caliber team as well. Riso and O'Connell up there in the top of the damage dealing. Them and 4AK were holding Fairy Peel for the longest of time, and I don't think they either expected the circle to actually go down and finish there, but they were benefited with it. And as you can see, Riso, he rarely ever had to make any runs in the open, because he finished off the game with, I believe, still 10 smokes at hand. So pretty indoors game for him.
He could be the smoke criminal himself there, couldn't he? Just throw him down, spray through him, see what he can make happen.
Yep.
All the craziness to go alongside it. Why not?
Yeah, Oko, you see him on the damage leaderboards. Did manage to get himself 5 kills, tying things up there with the Deep from Northern Lights. And Northern Lights, of course, sitting a little better in it regarding overall points, but never count out anybody. And Moonwolf, should they be able to get themselves a good final game, they could get themselves back in it. Nope, I was lying. Still 4, make that 8 points up for Tornado Energy to Gamerlegion, but the gap is getting bridged here, and you can see multiple teams now starting to come within reach.
Yeah, we've got some really good kind of battles going on across the whole scoreboard now, right, in terms of how this could work out. Moonwolf will be looking at this and thinking, it is still possible. A couple more games like that, we can make it work.
I mean, we had everything in 3 pretty isolated groups at one point, but if you look at it now, I mean, when we go down, there's nobody that has a dip that's bigger than 8 points, all the way down to 13th place, so it's all of a sudden getting rather tight again.
Well, let's go to a break. As always, guys, one more game left for today. Moonwolf just won that one. Can they continue to pull it back and see themselves get towards the top 8? We'll be finding out very soon.